Everybody to this wonderful morning, and it's great to be able to link up with our fellow travellers on the path and fellow Unity leaders. So would you welcome from Adelaide, Phyllis Grace. Good morning, Phyllis.
Good morning, everyone. Lovely to be with you.
Thank you.
Even though it's cold and overcast here in Adelaide, and I believe it's not so warm in your part of the world either, or for some of you. But it's great to be able to link up with you and to share a message that Bill has asked me to give. And the talk title, as you may have seen in your weekly newsletter, is Lost Faith. And I hear you saying to yourself, but I thought this month we were focusing on zeal. So what are you talking about faith for? Well, I am aware that the power of this month is zeal, and that is what I will be focusing on. And as I was contemplating how I would approach today's talk, I was reminded, thanks to a sonnet that I came across, that zeal, like every other power, works best when partnered with one or more of the other powers. In his book, A 12-Power Meditation Exercise, Charles Roth wrote, "Zeal is a tremendously important faculty of mind. When we combine spiritual zeal with faith, our reliance on God never wavers." So let me share the sonnet that I happened across that reminded me that not only wisdom, understanding, love, and will are important partners to zeal that needs to work alongside our partners to zeal, but all need to work alongside of that zeal. But faith too is an important partner. The sonnet is called Loss of Faith, and it's by someone called Gershon Wolf. Remember when you got a bike, when you were just a little tyke? You couldn't ride that bike at all. The only thing you did was fall. You didn't let it bother you. You fell and fell the morning through. But by the end of your first day, you rode it well. You'd found a way. What happened to this youthful zeal, this simple faith, this will of steel? We think we can, and so we do. A formula that's tried and true. We lose our faith, then overthink. On this I need spill no more ink. The poet, when writing the sonnet, demonstrated his own understanding of how zeal needs to have several partners in order for us to achieve that which we think we can. I was reminded when reading this sonnet that young children are a perfect example of zeal in action and their ability to demonstrate their faith in their own abilities. When we watch a youngster wanting to take their first steps, we see them pull themselves to a standing position while holding on to a couch or some toy that will support them. It was just a few months ago, with the use of technology, thank goodness, I was able to watch my youngest grandson, who lives in Tasmania, take some of his very first steps while holding on to the front of the couch and walking sideways. Felix then progressed to using his push-along trolley to help him walk. His balance was not developed quite enough, and he would still fall down. Was he discouraged? Oh no, he would simply pick himself up while holding the trolley and start again until he felt confident enough to try without any help from the couch or trolley. But even then, of course, he would take a few steps and fall. But he kept on keeping on. He had faith in himself, and his enthusiasm to walk was very evident. Zeal, like the other 11 faculties or powers, is innate within each one of us. and we can use them individually or use them more wisely by using them in partnership with one, two, or more of the other abilities. I feel sure that each one of us, when toddlers, didn't show any self-doubt. We just picked ourselves up and had another go. When very young, we seem to demonstrate that innate quality of knowing our divinity. Of course, we are not capable. And after some time, when they started to run and chatter all the time, I would tell them to slow down or stop asking questions or do as you were told, and a myriad of other do's and don'ts. These directives may help to keep the child safe, and they may simply make life easier for the adults. So keeping a balance of encouraging the child to grow their own discernment rather than rely on others to decide, and also encouraging their faith in their own ability, and importantly, their zeal for life, is so important. In Keep a True Lent, Charles Fillmore wrote, "Zeal is the affirmative impulse of existence. Its command is, go forward. Zeal is the mighty force that incites all things to action. The eternal urge behind all things. To be without zeal is to be without zest for living. Zeal and enthusiasm incite to glorious achievement in every ideal that the mind conceives." End of quote. As we grow into adulthood, we need to learn how to channel our zeal and enthusiasm wisely, using wisdom and good judgment to help guide our energy, so we can maintain the urge to pursue a goal without losing the passion for the objective. This is where faith and love can also be an important factor. Faith that what we are pursuing is what we want and is in the best interest of all concerned, and a love for the objective can establish courage within us. In Mysteries of Genesis, again, Charles Fillmore wrote, "Zeal is a strong force, the urge behind all things, and the impulse to every achievement. It sets in motion all the machinery of the universe to attain the object of its desire. It should be tempered with understanding and love, else it becomes a destructive force. Even a criminal," he says, "may be zealous in his work." And of course, that's the use of zeal inappropriately. In my early days, learning about unity and the teachings, I was filled with enthusiasm about what I was learning, and like so many others, wanted everyone to hear about this truth. I took every opportunity to share the newest information I was learning, and was disappointed to find that others were not so interested. I talked to the minister about this and was told that the best way to share the truth I was learning was about practicing the principles and living it to the best of my ability. Then allow others to come to me and ask me what it's about. So maybe that's what Matthew in 7:6 was talking about when he says, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." And there were a few times when I was sharing the truth I was learning that I was torn to pieces. Again, in Dynamics for Living, Charles Fillmore wrote, "Zeal is intensity, ardour, enthusiasm, the inward fire of the soul that surges man onward regardless of caution. It is the affirmative impulse of existence. Its command is go forward, and when zeal and judgment work together, great things can be accomplished." I certainly wasn't using my judgment when I was sharing the truth I was learning to some people. Yes, we need zeal in order to accomplish any desired outcome. But how do we know that the desire is truly our heart's desire and we have the fortitude to take it to and complete the journey, regardless of any setbacks? This is when judgment, will, love, and faith must be engaged to examine the urges. It has been my experience that there will be setbacks in the journey to some destinations, particularly if wisdom, love, faith, will, and understanding were not involved in the initial decision-making of the desire or have not continued to be part of that journey. It is then that we need to re-examine our motive behind the achieving of the goal. Is this goal still as important as it appeared when we started on the journey? Have we accomplished what was truly ours to do? Or have we been influenced by someone else to go further than we truly wanted to? And is this simply a material or human desire without a spiritual content? Sometimes we think we know exactly what we want to achieve. And when we get there, we realise it was not what we thought it would be. We may have started out with zeal and enthusiasm, but no matter how we look at the outcome, it's not what we wanted. This is often true when young teenagers are encouraged to decide what they want to pursue in life. And no matter how much zeal, enthusiasm, research and understanding they put into making that decision, they later find it really is not satisfying them. There may be many reasons why this happens, and one of these reasons may be lack of self-knowledge. Another may be that it is simply a human desire with no spiritual backing. When working towards a goal, we may have some self-doubt about our ability to achieve that goal. Our faith has been fading, and likewise the enthusiasm and the positive attitude we had at the outset has changed. I watched one of my sons go through this. As he was leaving school after matriculating, he applied to join the police force, which he had had a strong feeling was what he wanted to do. He was accepted and graduated and started his career as a police officer. He received 2 bravery awards, for which I'm very proud of, and he is too, for some of the work that he did, but he realised policing was not fulfilling him emotionally or mentally. And after a few years, he was able to work half-time so that he could pursue another area he had become passionate about. He went to university where he studied part-time and eventually received his degree in environmental studies. He continues to work in this area, and even in his own time, demonstrates a great passion and zeal for the environment in which we all live. I believe he has a spiritual desire as well as a human desire for this passion of his. I doubt he would recognise this, and I believe that is what he is demonstrating, because his passion has not faded. And I found it interesting listening to Diane earlier, that she was talking about environment, and I had this little piece in my talk. How synchronicity is that? Synchronicity whatever the word is. In the book 12 Powers, Charles Fillmore wrote, "The man without zeal is like an engine without steam, or an electric motor without a current. Energy is zeal in motion, and energy is the forerunner of every effect." I invite you to look at your life and ask, am I like an engine without steam? Have I lost my zeal for living? Am I enjoying the work I do, or is it simply a job to earn a living? If a zest for life has diminished, we can change that and regain the enthusiasm and zeal for life that a child demonstrates. Yes, we can do that. How? Zeal works best when directed by our spiritual self rather than our human self. We are all both and. To develop the faculty of zeal, which is innate within every one of us, and in good measure, it is important to develop not just the human self, but the spiritual self at the same time. We can focus our zeal on material gains, but that will deplete our energy. But when we can incorporate our knowledge of truth into our lives, we gain a whole new zest for life. Remember Reverend Bill telling us that Simon the Canaanite is the disciple that represents zeal, and he changed his way of life by giving up force and fighting as he had done when working for the Jewish government. And he made a decision to learn about truth and learn from Jesus how to use his zeal in spiritual ways rather than simply human pursuits. Charles Fillmore wrote again in 12 Powers, "Do not put all your enthusiasm into teaching, preaching, healing, and helping others. Help your own soul," he says. I know you all know the very best way to do that is to spend time in prayer and meditation each day. We can spiritualize each of our powers by focusing on the body center associated with that power and then repeating an affirmation to quicken that power within us. Thus, if it is the faculty of zeal we want to spiritualize, allow your focus to be on the body center for zeal, which is the medulla of the brain, situated at the back of the neck. Let your attention rest there for a moment and then use an affirmation that speaks to you. The suggestion is, I am motivated from within by wisdom and love. I have faith that I do that which is before me with unflagging zeal and enthusiasm. This way, we not only develop our faculty of zeal, we are partnering zeal with some of the other faculties. We will regain faith in our ability to do that which is ours to do with zeal, determination, power, and love. We will be able to say, as Charles Fillmore did, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty magnet, with a mighty faith to do the things that are to be done by me today. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Reverend Phyllis. Oh, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm. What a great talk. I'll be thinking of that probably all week. And it's a wonderful power, thank you. I was a bit concerned when you said your talk title was Lost Faith. Oh, goodness, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay,